Hello, 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 and welcome. And excuse as I make you dizzy. Boom, boom. Welcome. Happy Sunday, everyone. It is Sunday on January 25th, 2025. 2026. Hopping in as I was. Okay, I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me. So again, as I was saying, it is Sunday on January 25th, 2026. Super excited to be here with you today. Let's take a moment just to be in a space of silence, just to pray that I'm able to offer this insight to you, cough free, as I seem to be doing a lot of coughing today. Anyway, I titled this conversation Nature is helping us to prepare for a planetary shift. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I'm the founder of Holistic Fitness and why I serve, help, and transform women over 40, helping them to release emotional weight without dieting, while holding space for them as they step into their confidence and courage to step away from their 9 to 5 and embrace their soul's calling. All that being said, the W in holistic is all about the whole person that you are. You are your physical body, your thoughts, your emotions, your mental health, your spirit, and a soul. All that being said, let's dive a little bit about the conversation, the energy we're experiencing today on this Sunday, where many people are sitting in a space of silence, a space of stillness. And as I was sitting having lunch today, it dawned on me that today is the 25th of January. And in less than 24 hours from today, we're going to have one of our planets end a 14-year cycle. Now, if you've been following me on a regular basis, you've heard me say this many times over the last couple of weeks as we're beginning a new transit. We have many planets that are going to be changing zodiac signs over the course of 2026. We did get to experience many of these planets back in 2025 early on. I believe there was like 5 planets in less than a 6-month period that transition from one zodiac sign to the other, which this is very rare for us to experience that many planets shifting in a short period of time. So we did get a taste of what it's going to feel like with these many planets that are making their transitions. And when they make their transitions this time around, this is going to be a permanent transition for a period of time for some of these planets. And I'm just pulling out my calendar because I do want to share some facts with you. When we speak about the energy that we're about to experience in less than 24 hours from now, we will experience it exactly 12:37 p.m. Eastern Time on January 26th, which is tomorrow. Neptune ending its 14-year cycle in Pisces, which was all about the tapping into your vision, your intuition, your psychic abilities, even the delusions for that matter, whether something was real or not real. And Neptune is going to begin its brand new cycle in Aries energy. Aries is fire. Aries is action oriented. Aries is the leader. Aries is the warrior within. Aries, the war within. Aries is definitely aggression. Aries is anger. Aries is sometimes moody. Aries is the starter, not always the finisher when we think about Aries energy. And with Neptune making its way into Aries as of January 26th at 12:37 p.m. Eastern Time, where it's going to spend the next 14 years. So it's safe to say that for most of us, if not all of us on this earth right now, we'll never get to experience another Neptune Pisces energy again. In theory. And what do I mean by in theory? If you're not familiar with astrology, you may not know this. So this is a little one-on-one astrology for you. Neptune rules Pisces. So when we really think about Neptunian energy sitting in Pisces and Neptunian energy moving into Aries, there's always going to be a little connection with Pisces, with Neptune, because it's its ruling planet. So when we think about Pisces and we think about Aries, we're thinking about an ending and we're thinking about a beginning, a new beginning. Because Pisces is the last astrological zodiac sign and Aries is the first astrological zodiac sign. So you have to really put this in the sense of energy and age. We could say that Pisces is the old soul that's been here before, and Aries is literally the new baby taking this very first step. So with Neptune moving into Aries, it's going to give us an opportunity to explore everything relating to Neptune's energy, which is the spiritual evolution. It's evolving into your ability to see bigger pictures, to allow your imagination to expand beyond one's imagination. It allows us to move into just the words that I keep hearing is the expansion. Now, think of it this way, that with Neptune moving into Aries, what many of us are going to be experiencing with this energy is the concept of taking off the mask and truly being authentic, transparent, and perhaps maybe for the first time in your life, allowing yourself to truly be who you're meant to be and letting go of someone else's opinion or someone else's philosophy of who you are meant to be. And we're going to be seeing a lot of this. You may also be thinking or been thinking about who are you, why are you here, and what legacy do you want to leave behind. That truly is the Neptunian Aries energy. Now, why I came to speak to you about this energy for today on January 25th isn't just about the fact that we're about to experience this huge revolution of an astrological new cycle, because again, with Neptune moving into Aries, this starts a whole new astrological cycle where Neptune will spend 14 years in this fiery energy. The reason why I chose to come and share this information with you is really about the concept that today, on January 25th, we have been invited to quiet ourselves down. So wherever you are in the world, if you happen to be where we are experiencing some heavy snow, some heavy cold, some heavy winds, then you are amongst the population that is being asked to be still, to quiet yourself down, to prepare yourself for this gigantic shift that we're about to experience literally in less than 12 hours. Where when we think about Neptune sitting in Pisces right now at that 29 degrees, like, well, if I had to give you a vision to hold on to in this moment of time, it's like that 29.29 degree where we're so close to Neptune literally moving into that 0 degree of Aries. And 0 degree is really about what new energy is going to be coming through for every one of us as Neptune enters Aries energy and leaves Pisces based on our energy forever. We will not experience a Neptune, and I want to say the politically correct because I want to make sure that we will not actually experience a Neptune retrograde moving back into Pisces again. And I'm pretty safe to say that we will probably not experience ever again in this lifetime. Neptune and Pisces. And what does this all mean? Well, a big part of what this all means and where you can basically really understand it, I want to take a sip of tea, is understanding where you have Aries on your astrological chart. Because where you have Aries, the house that Aries sits in, is where Neptune is going to transit for the next 14 years. Now, Neptune does not move very quickly. So it will stay in 0 degrees for a little while, as not only are we going to be experiencing Neptune transitioning into Aries, we will also experience Saturn, the planet of structure, restructuring. It's about your foundation and definitely about boundary setting, which, by the way, rules Capricorn and also Aquarius. So this is about the big vision and the work that we're here to do. We'll also be moving into Aries energy. That will be taking place on February 13th. So we have about, give and take, 2 weeks before that transition happens. However, again, I want to point it out to you, as I said before, the reason why I decided to come and share this insight with you for today is because I did find it so amazing that here it is on January 25th with this snowstorm that we're experiencing, high winds and very cold on this day of January 25th, the day before we experience this planetary shift. A big portion of the world has been asked to sit quietly, to be still. Whereas on this day, on an average day, where if the sun was out or if it was just raining, or maybe it wasn't so cold, many of us would be in action. We would be doing something, we would be very busy. And that is not the case. And I found it so interesting as I was sitting here having lunch, saying to myself, wow, it's so amazing on how nature is literally preparing us for this planetary shift that's about to happen. And whether we are conscious of it or not, how this is going to impact who we are as of tomorrow with this new energy. Now, some of you might actually be feeling this energy already, and some of you may start to feel it over the next couple of weeks, and some of you may not feel it at all, because depending on where you are on your, what I like to call, your spiritual awakening process. If you have been awakened, then there's a good probability you are understanding that there's a big shift about to happen. So I just wanted to, before I go into the other planets that are about to shift as well, I wanted to bring our attention to the energy based on numerology, the energy of today, January 25th of 2026. When we think of the 25th, the number 25, we got that 2 and 5. 2 is very much associated with the relationships we are in with ourselves, with others, with our physical body. And I'm really kind of curious to know how many of you, if any of you, are experiencing physical symptoms today. Where for me, within the last 48 hours, I've experienced this intense cough. And it just came out from nowhere. But it does, to me, make sense because of this energy we are in, where our chakra system is getting ready to be rebooted, and the throat chakra is a chakra. So it is very much possible that my throat is being rebooted. So I will be speaking differently. I may even sound differently at that point in time. But anyway, so when we think about the number 2, it is about the relationships you have with others, yourself, your food, your money, and of course your physical body. And it is very much associated with Taurus energy. So there's a lot of energy relating to Taurus right now. And then we have the number 5, which is about massive change that we're about to experience. 5 is the freedom, 5 is change, 5 is the unpredictability, and 5 is very much associated with Leo energy, which is another fire sign. So when we think about these two numbers, we're coming together with the number 7, and 7 is associated with the agreements. What agreements are you in the process of ending, and what new agreements are you going to be signing on to? Where do you want more balance in your life? What contracts are serving you, and what contracts have you outgrown? What does your intimate relationships look like? What do your professional partnerships look like? Because when we talk about that 7 energy, it's very much associated with Libra, and Libra is about balance. In fact, Libra is the opposition of Aries. So it's that beautiful push-pull energy that we have going on for today as Neptune prepares its energy into Aries. So it's a great day as we sit and reflect on our agreements. Now, when we bring all the numbers together in reference to January being the first month, and we have that 7 energy, so 7 and 8 is really, again, going within, evaluating the relationship you have with other people's money, if whatever you're going to be inheriting in reference to this energy that's coming through. Maybe you're looking at your taxes in a different way. That 8 energy is really about the things that go on behind the scenes, so to speak. And it very well does play around with your big transformation that's about to happen with this Neptunian Aries energy. And then we take 2026, and before we reduce it to the single digit, I definitely want to play into the whole number of 2026. We already know the twos are associated with the relationships we have with everything, the people, places, physical material possessions, money, our food, and our physical body. That's all the number 2 energy. It is definitely associated with Venus energy as well, which is also rules Taurus and Libra's energy. And then we have the number 6, which is also associated with being in service. And how are you serving your physical body? Where are you in service, and how are you serving your physical body? How are you paying attention to what's going on in your physical body? Then we take the whole number 2026 and we add it, we get a 10. Now, 10 again is about your public affairs, it's success, it's fame, it's recognition, it's awards, it's how you want the public to see you. And it is really about the discipline you're going to put into the work this year in order to accomplish the success, the recognition, the awards, the fame, and how the public really sees you. So it does play a huge role in the process of your public image. Then we take that 10, we reduce it to that 1, and we also have the 0. So that 1 is a new way that we are stepping into our public affairs, that new way that we are looking into our agreements, the new way we are going to be transforming. And that 0 is a reminder that it's a never-ending process. We are always in the process of evolving. We are always changing, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Sometimes when we are not consciously aware of it, it's a very challenging shift because we're going against what needs to be done. So when we think about these numbers on an overall, we are looking at an overall 9 energy, which is so interesting because when we think about this energy we're in as of now in 2026, we've just begun. Let me say it this way. We just ended a 9-year universal cycle, and now we begin a brand new 9-year universal cycle. So not only are we experiencing Neptune getting ready for its big shift into Aries, and then we'll also have Saturn moving into Aries. So again, 2 planets moving into a whole brand new astrological new year. And then we also have just 2026 energy that carries this new 9-year cycle. So we're literally going to a start over, shall we say. Now, if any of you are out there saying you want to start over, you want to do it again, you want to do it differently, this is your time to really do it differently. This is your time to like literally let go of your old habits, your old philosophies, your old patterns, and really step into this new way of doing things. I mean, you really don't even have a choice when you think about it. And what do I mean by you really don't have a choice? Well, with both Neptune and Saturn moving into Aries, coming away from your placement that Pisces was in, it's going to look totally different. So I just want to bring you into knowing of the other planets that are going to be making astrological shifts as well. I do not have notes in front to give specific dates, but I do want you to be aware, and of course, I'll come and share more insight as we get closer to these other astrological shifts that's going to be happening. We do have Uranus that's going to be shifting from its retrograde into its direct motion, which is in Taurus energy. And I actually do have that date that I can share with you. Let me just pull it up. Give me one moment to get there so I can provide that information. I know I saw it just the other day. Want to make sure I'm on the right month. That always helps, right? To be in the right month. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Mm-mm-mm. Oh my. There's so much happening. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it quicker. Otherwise, if not, I'll come back and do it on a different video. Anyway, at this moment of time, I don't have that in front of me at this moment in time. I don't want to spend too much time looking at my calendar. Anyway, just know that Uranus is going to move forward into its Taurus energy, and then shortly after that, we will have Uranus moving into Gemini's energy, where it will then spend roughly 7 to 8 years sitting in Gemini energy. We're already noticing that energy because Uranus is associated with technology, and we are seeing a lot of information based on AI. And also, Uranus is associated and rules Aquarius energy. So there's going to be a lot of different visions happening, um, new things coming about. And again, once again, the word old is coming into conversation. Anything that is outdated is going to fade away. And we're going to see that as Uranus moves into Gemini's energy. So I do want you to be prepared for that. Then we also have some other planets that will be shifting. I'm hearing that for right now, I'm gonna just stay focused on the energy we have coming in tomorrow. This way I do not overwhelm you. But I do want you to be mindful that I will be going live and sharing insight based on the other planets that will be transiting out of one zodiac sign into another. I do believe we have about 5 planets in the course of 2026 that will be shifting. And I do want to say this much, that the first half of 2026, where we have Jupiter sitting in Cancer, by the second half of 2026, Jupiter will transit into Leo. Now, Jupiter spends 12 months in a zodiac sign. So just think of it that those of us who do have our sun or ascending sign in Cancer, we have Jupiter sitting there. And wherever you do have a Cancer on your chart, Jupiter transiting that placement. And the second half of 2026, Jupiter will be moving into Leo, and that's going to be a different energy as well. Another final thing I want to bring to the table is knowing that in 2026, throughout the entire year, we are going to have more of our planets sitting between fire and air energy, where in 2025 we had most of our planets sitting between earth and water. So the atmosphere is going to change as well, and we're going to see that based on our weather. And the final insight that I want to bring to the table when we talk about this energy we have going on, again, when we think about January 26th, where Neptune is going to be moving into fiery Aries, and then within a matter of 2 weeks later, we have Saturn moving into fiery Aries on February 13th, and then 4 days later, we will experience, for those who celebrate, we will experience Lunar New Year. We're moving into the fire horse energy, and we'll be moving out of the wood snake energy. Now, the energy between those two are very different. Snake is slow and sheds. Horse is fast. And when we think about fire horse energy, it really is about action. It's about discipline. It's about commitment. It's about leadership. And it carries the vibration of making decisions where you can pivot and make a decision. Not have to delay yourself, not have to take a day or two to make a decision. That's the energy we're going to feel. And as I said before, with many of our planets getting ready to move into fire again, Neptune, Saturn, both going to be in fire. We already know, because I mentioned it already, that Jupiter is going to be in Leo, which is going to be fire. So that's 3 planets right off the bat. We have our North and South node that's going to move into Aquarius, Leo, again, a fourth, moving into fire. And we also have um mm, 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 mm. Is that all we have going on? I think so. So we will have 4 planets literally sitting in fire energy. So again, to conclude this slide for today and why I was so passionate about coming and sharing this information, because again, it really did dawn on me just as I was finishing lunch that wow, so many of us are being still today. So many of us are not doing our usual activities and errands and whatever not because of nature, forcing us to stay home, forcing us to be still, forcing us to quiet our minds down, and really allowing us to prepare for this energetic shifts that's about to come through as Neptune makes its way into Aries energy as of 12:37 p.m. Eastern Time on January 26th, which is again less than 12 hours from now. So I ask that you take a moment. If you are familiar with your astrology chart, you probably already do know where Aries is on your chart. And if you are not familiar with your astrology chart, you can go over to astro.com or just Google free natal chart, and then you just put in all your information and get yourself a chart. So this way you can find out exactly where Aries is on your chart. So you'll have a better understanding to how to utilize this energy. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to run through all the houses to give you some insight. So if you are going to go and check out your chart, you'll have an understanding to what this is going to mean for you. And I'm going to try to keep it as basic as I can so you can really understand it and benefit from this so you can navigate. So again, each house, there's 12 houses in astrology, and we all have 12 houses. And wherever you have your astrological Aries placement is the house that's going to be in, starting with the first house, which is all about self. First house is all about self. So if you carry Aries in your first house, that is literally going to be about your spiritual evolution of taking off your mask and defining who you are, why you're here, and what legacy you want to leave behind. Aries in the second house is about your self-worth. It is really about your physical body. It's learning how to create healthier and stronger relationships and thinking about the process of evolving into those relationships. That second house. Third house is associated with how we communicate, what we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning differently. How do we want to teach? Are we teachers? Are we creators? Are you a writer? Are you a speaker? Because these are the things that's going to be highlighted for you with Neptune sitting in your third house. These are about big Neptunian evolutions that occur. Again, we're removing the mask and we're allowing ourselves to be transparent. Neptune, Aries, fourth house. This is home. This is how you feel at home. This is about your family, whether it's blood related or not. This is about your physical body and, of course, your career. How do you nurture yourself? How do you take care of yourself as a mother? It's literally allowing you to be in your mother's wisdom to be your own mother so you can heal and nurture. Aries' fifth house is the creative change that's coming through, your freedom that's coming in. There may be some massive shifts and movement and moving happening for those who have Aries in fifth house, because this is about getting ready to do something massive, a big move. You may be even in the process of recreating your website. That's also for those in third house as well. We think about Aries in sixth house. Again, this is service, your physical body. Moving your body in a different way, becoming more health conscious, making sure you're balancing how you eat, making sure that you're fueling your body so you can service your body and that you can be in better service for others as well. Sixth house does focus on your nervous system. So there may be a huge nervous system regulation taking place or re-regulation happening. So pay attention to that as well. When we talk about seventh house Aries, again, I mentioned this before, seventh house associated with Libra. So if you do have Aries transiting your seventh house, there may be a lot of push-pull when it comes to finding that balance. This is going to be a time where you really want to move into more balance in the things that you do. This may very well be a time where you're cutting those cords from jobs that do not serve you. If you have a 9 to 5, you may find that you're going to be shifting gears and moving out of that 9 to 5 and maybe becoming your own independent contractor so you can set your own hours based on what works for you. So that's really big. And when it comes to your intimate relationships, this may be your year that you may have a deal breaker. You may decide that this relationship has been going on long enough the way it is and you want to move it to the next level. And if your partner is not ready for that, this may be your time where you may find that you part ways. Note that. Same thing goes with professional partnerships as well for those who have their seventh house sitting in Aries and their seventh house in Aries transiting that placement. Where seventh house is Aries, Neptune sitting there, this may be your time where you're going to really evaluate your evolutions that come through. So the seventh house with Aries in the placement, Neptune transiting, there's some big changes coming in. You're reviewing your agreements and your contracts. You are definitely reviewing your philosophies as well. When I speak about marriage, I'm not just speaking traditional, I'm speaking beliefs, habits, and even your programming is going to change. And this may also be a really great time with that energy that you retreat and you go on retreats as well, so you can really discover who you are. We have Aries, 8th house. Again, this is about other people's money. This is about your transformation that's going on within. You're undergoing a whole new, what I'm hearing is you're undergoing a whole new, facelift. How you look, how you manage your work, and even perhaps where you live. That 8th house is about a transformation coming through. Something brand new is happening for you. When we think about Aries' 9th house, this is about higher learning. This is about travel. This is about your scholarships. This is about speaking your truth. And it's definitely about freedom seeking as well for 9th houses. 10th house Aries, this is your public affair. This is where you want that recognition. This is where you want people to know you for who you are, and that this is where you get to state all the wisdom and knowledge that you do have through recognition. People are going to see you. People are going to recognize you. People are going to be there to push you to do the things you're here to do. That that 10th house Aries energy, lots of fire for that placement. Because again, when we talk 10th house energy, 10th house is associated with Capricorn and also very much associated with Saturn, as Aries is associated with Mars. So between Mars and Saturn there, in that 10th house placement, this is really about restructuring and being the leader you're meant to be. So those who do carry your, the 10th house has Aries in it with Neptune transiting over that placement. There's some big, big shifts happening in your reference to public image. Then we talk about Aries in your 11th house. This is all about your community. This is how your community sees you. This is connections. This is collaboration. This is being able to network in much larger crowds. And then, of course, we have our Aries 12th house. This is everything that goes on behind the scenes. You may be ready to share with the world who you really are and be extremely transparent about it. So those of you who do carry your Aries in the 12th house with Neptune transiting, you may be showing up and saying sharing some interesting insight that's going to leave people with their mouths dropping down because they were not expecting that. And that can show up in reference to sharing your gender differences. It can show up in your psychic abilities. It can show up in reference to just being true and speaking out, because again, Aries compared to Pisces, and that 12th house placement is ruled by Pisces. This is really about being able to speak your truths and share it out with that Aries, with that Neptunian placement highlighting that Aries energy. So be mindful of that. One last thing I do want to bring to the table regarding all the astrological houses, we will also have Saturn transiting that placement. So again, if you have Aries in the 3rd house, you have Saturn there as well. So it's a restructuring of how you are writing, restructuring of what your website looks like, restructuring of how you're speaking, restructuring to your communication skills, how you speak to yourself as well. If you have again, Aries sitting in your 6th house, Saturn's going to be there too. So there's a huge restructuring when it comes to your physical body and also the work, your service that you're here to do. All right. I want to come and share this information because I did find it quite interesting that here we are on January 25th, just to recap, that many of us are still not doing our normal Sunday activities due to weather conditions. And literally in less than 12 hours from now, Neptune will make its way into Aries and leave Pisces for our lifetime forever. We will never experience another Neptune Pisces energy again. And this is some big energies coming through. And for my ladies over 40, I do want to make a note here for you. If you're over 40 and you are experiencing that new chapter of life that we have been programmed to believe is called perimenopause or menopause, with all of this fire energy that is coming in, I do want you to be aware and understand that with our planets, so many planets being in fire, and of course the fire horse energy, your experiences and your symptoms that you may be having that you're referring to as menopause or perimenopause may become a little bit more active, maybe a more explosive because of all the energy that's sitting in fire right now and moving forward. So I would be interested to hearing more about your experiences that you may be having. And feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com to share those experiences with me, to let me know if with so many planets, especially as we move to the second half of 2026, with so many planets sitting in fire energy, and as of February 17, 18, when we experience Lunar New Year and we move into the fire horse, if you do experience more fire energy going on within your body, do remember or note that when we talk about fire energy, the fire energy does start from the root chakra, which is all the way down at your pelvis. So that energy sits in your pelvis, and you may start to feel that fire within you where your body starts to feel hot. So I would love to hear from you. If that is you, please keep a journal to tracking and understanding what is actually going on with your physical body. As I always say, our physical body is our biggest messenger. Our body gives us information, and when we understand what the messages are, it helps us to heal at a different pace. It doesn't mean you're going to heal faster. It just means it gives you a better understanding to what's actually going on. There is no quick fix to anything. And once you can better understand to what's actually happening, it takes away the stress and the anxiety that may come about with not feeling so great. So all that being said, again, I'd like to thank you so much for being here. If you all have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, go ahead and share this out. I am being called to pull a card. I haven't pulled a card in a while, and I think it's the perfect time to do so, as we are going to be experiencing this beautiful Neptunian energy shift. So let's see, what do we need to know as Neptune moves into Aries and moves out of Pisces? As you know that everyone is going to feel this shift. So even if you don't have your sun, moon, or ascending sign in Aries, or Pisces for that matter, we still do, as I mentioned, we all have Aries on our chart in one of the 12 zodiacs, or one of the 12 houses for one. And also, we're just going to feel this energy. And I'd like to thank you very much for supporting me as I sit here. And I'm doing my best to share this insight as my throat chakra is inflamed. And I love the card that popped in because, again, the question I asked, what do we need to know regarding Neptune moving into Aries? And I love the card that flew out. And that card that flew out is called Financial Abundance. And that's exactly what this beautiful Neptunian Aries energy is going to help all of us with, is to bring more abundance into our lives. Because again, Aries is action. Aries is fire. And this is time to really allow yourself to be in that space where you become the leader, you become the independent contractor, you become the entrepreneur, and you step into what you came here to be. Take off your mask and be transparent. Define your who am I statement, define what it is you're here to do, and then define what legacy you plan to leave behind. The chakra is the third eye, so this is very much about that Aquarian energy we have going on with Pluto in Aquarius, the big transformer. And Aquarius is all about the bigger vision, collaborations and connections, and with your community. So how is your community helping you to expand? And move into your financial abundance. The numbers 1 and 7 works out to be 8. So this, again, other people's money. So with Neptune moving into Aries, whether you have Aries in your 8th house or not, this is really about making that connection and connecting with people that's going to support you on your journey, which is all about other people's money. Partnerships, collaborations, service. That's what this is all about. What a perfect card to be sitting in. All right, with all that being said, I want to thank you again for being with me. And I'm hoping that you're taking some time today on January 25th to sit and reflect on what it's been like for the last 14 years of your life with Neptune and Pisces. And are you ready for all this fire energy that's coming in? Now, of course, if you catch this after January 25th, that's fine too. We're going to spend the next 14 years with Neptune sitting in Aries. I will be back to share more insight about the other planets that's going to shift as well as we move more into 2026. But for now, enjoy this energy, and I love to hear from you in regards to how what you're noticing changing for you as Neptune enters Aries. Bye-bye for now.